Good morning, everyone. Here is our first session of our subject, Object-Oriented Programming with Java. So this is what our syllabus is. We have already learned Object-Oriented Programming with C++. Now this is the extended version, you can say, that's Java, right? Because it is again object-oriented programming. So we would be having all the features of the language which is object-oriented, because we are focused on object, right? We are focused on our data. So what is our objective for the subject is, this is a programming language, right? Where we would be having object-oriented concept like polymorphism, inheritance, multi-threading, this many things what we will learn. And it would be having a large third-party library. Through that, we can develop a software. This is what the objective of this syllabus. As you know, it's 5 credit subject. And here are the course outcome. I hope I'm audible to you guys. I forgot to ask you. Anyone can write. Yeah, okay, fine. Good. So here is our course outcome, that after completion of this course, what you will be able to do by your own. So you can understand what would be the object-oriented programming concept, right? That is basic understanding. Then to comprehend building blocks of OOP language like inheritance, package, and interfaces. See, some of the things would be newer to this language. As you already know what are the object-oriented programming features, that will be here again, right? What would be abstraction, that you know, what is polymorphism, then encapsulation, inheritance, till inheritance, everything is almost the same except the syntax and semantic. Right? Only the syntax will change, otherwise the concept is same. Then the new feature, that is package, that you will learn, and one more, that is interface. Then to identify exception handling methods, though we have seen try, catch, everything in C++ also, right? Because C++ was also able to handle runtime errors. But here we would be having more features than that. Okay. So the exception handling, that would be there. And to implement multi-threading in object-oriented programs. Now, if you know what do you mean by multi-threading, then it's a kind of multitasking, you can say, right? In a single program, we can have more than one task simultaneously. That is known as multi-threading. So if we are developing any of the program will allow to write you to do lot many things simultaneously in the same program, just like multitasking. So that you will learn multi-threading. And finally, to develop GUI based desktop application in project based learning. So here what you are going to do is, see, mainly Java is divided into two parts. One is application and the another one is applet. In application part, you will see all your normal logic, normal programs like this is what the first Java overview, first unit, then array and string. Now what would be class, object, and methods. Wherever you will find the word methods, methods means function. But now onwards in Java, we will not say a function. Instead of the function word, we will use always methods. Okay, so that's a very simple difference, right? Otherwise you will think that what would be methods, but method is nothing, it's just a function. Okay, then we would be having inheritance, interfaces. So almost till 4 units you know everything. Even in 5th unit you know what is exception handling, right? You can even see this try and catch. This is what we already learned, right, in C++. So a very first feature of Java, it is a very simple language. So why they are saying it's very simple? Because if you know object-oriented fundamentals or object-oriented programming language like C++, it's very easy to understand Java. It's so easy. So almost 5 chapters you know, almost. Right? Then from the sixth one, there would be multi-threading. Right? Then again, file handling. That would be somehow different than C++, right? Then we are having collection classes, and then finally applet. So that last CO, that course outcome, for that I was showing you this applet. Applet means you can do such kind of interactive programming where you can make one page. For example, it would be a registration page where there would be a label like enter your name, then there would be a text field where you can enter your name, right? Then there would be a radio button, checkbox, list, text area, button. When you will click, something will happen. So such kind of interactive things what you can make via this applet and swing. So that would be the last unit. Here you can see even basic components, text field, button, toggle buttons, checkbox, radio buttons, and everything. So via this, you can create any of the event. When you are clicking on this, then this will happen, and something like that. When you will click on the button, at that time, background color will be changed, for example. So such kind of interactive things you can do via applet. So this fifth course outcome is based on your GUI, right? To develop GUI via applet and swing. So I hope this thing is clear, right? So we will see some of the overview of this teaching scheme and all. Here you are having 4 theory, right? 2 hours for practicals, 5 credit subject. EAC means your final examination, that is of 50 marks, which will be held centrally. Mid-semester exam with 30 marks. That will be again 2 mid-semester, mid-1 and mid-2. Then you are having internal component, internal I. Over here, this 20 marks is divided into 2 parts. 15 plus 5. 15 marks you will get from the assignments, right? Which would be more useful for you for the campus interview purpose, right? So based on that, you will be having some of the questions which you will write, okay? And based on that, you will get the marks. 15 marks for that, and 5 marks we will take the quiz, or you can say the MCQ questions, okay? So 15 plus 5, finally you will get this internal marks 20. Viva, that would be at the end of the semester, right? 25 marks. And the term work. Here, in term work, you will do the programs in your regular laboratory sessions. Those programs mark will consider over here in this 25, right? So total 150 marks subject is this. Okay, so very first unit, that is all about Java overview, right? What would be the history of this Java, then how it is platform independent, what is JVM, what is JDK, what is the different data types are supported in Java, what newer kind of data types are here with us, operators, if, else, switch case, while, do while, for loop, break, continue. I mean, nothing new you will find over here. Have you seen this? Only syntax will get changed. Otherwise, I mean, if and else, everything is just like your C language that was there in C++, and now you are having in Java. In switch case also, it would be same. For loop will remain same, of course, right? While loop, do while loop, everything will remain same. So that is why we are saying that it's so easy, and that is why we were more concerned about your C++ also. If you are having very good understanding with C++, you will be easily, you can learn this language Java without any extra efforts, right? So I hope this thing is clear. Fine. So the first unit was as like a very simple, which was there in C or C++ language. Then array and string. Obviously in C language also we were having one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array. So now in Java also we are having the same. So the array and string, that we will learn, one-dimensional, two-dimensional, multi-dimensional array. Then library classes. Here we are having two different class, string and string buffer. These are the two different classes which contain around 40 of methods. Whenever I'm using the word method, you have to understand that would be functions, built-in functions. So we are having built-in methods for string and string buffer classes. By just using that, we can have different kind of programming, right? So here you don't have to, put your extra efforts. We are everything we are already having. We are just using it. Okay. Same way we are having wrapper classes. For that, whatsoever the data type we are having, like integer, float, double, those all the data types are having wrapper classes. So that we will learn. Then command line argument. See, in C++ language and C language, you used to take input from the user, of course, right? So via scanf in C language, you used to take input from end user. In C++, you were using cin, okay? So same way in Java, you can take input from end user via command line argument, and one another method is there via scanner class. So that we will learn. Okay, in the same unit, in first unit only, we will include this thing. So you will learn that thing in first unit only. And then various string operations with the use of these two classes that we will do. Fine. Then the next is classes, objects, and methods. So in class, object, and method, we would be having classes, object, object reference, constructor. That also it is not a new term, right? Method overloading means it is function overloading. Wherever there is written method, you can replace it with the function. Okay, so that is function overloading. That you know what is recursion. That you know passing and returning object from the method. That even you know what is new operator. Then this keyword. This is again we have seen in C++ also. This keyword. Static keyword also we know. Then some of the new features will be there, one or two topics, right? Otherwise everything will remain same, right? Then there would be some classes, nested classes, inner classes, anonymous inner classes, that we will see. Here there would be access control. So you already know what do you mean by access control. What are the access specifier? What are the visibility access specifier? Like private, public, and the protected. So the same way we will see what classes you can access, what functions or methods you can access and all, right? Then inheritance and interfaces in Java. So from here, some of the things will be new. From interfaces till inheritance, everything will almost same. So overview of inheritance, inheritance in constructor, multi-level inheritance, method overriding. Here is the method overriding. It is very similar to your virtual function in C++, if you remember, right? Then one new is here, super keyword, right? Then final keyword. Then creation and implementation of interface and all, right? Then what is the difference between abstract class and interface? So already you know what do you mean by abstract class. So if you have learned C++ very well, it would be so easy for you to understand Java. Almost half of the syllabus, almost, right? Then you are having exception handling. Again, you are having try, catch, throw, throws, and final. Some of the built-in classes, exception classes are there. You can even create your own exception class, that is custom exception. Then multi-threading. In multi-threading, you will write one program by extending some of the properties which is already available with you via two things. One is thread class and one is runnable interface. So that we will learn synchronization, thread communication, and deadlock. See, some of the terms you will learn in operating system also in the same semester, right? So you will get to know what is deadlock and all in theoretical terms, and the same thing we will do via programming. Okay? Then there would be file handling. Different streams are there: byte stream, character stream, reader writer classes are there, file classes there, then file input, file output, input stream, output stream reader classes, writer classes, and so on. So we will be having around 14 to 15 different classes, right, via which we can read and write into the file. Then we are having collection classes, list class, array list class, linked list class. Such kind of the classes are already available. If you remember STL, standard template library, in that also you have seen this vector class, if you remember. So very similar to that, we are having these classes. These classes are already available. We just need to create the object of this class and some of the built-in methods we will use, and we can execute. Simple. So it is very similar to your STL in the concept. And then finally applet and swing. So that what I have already explained. So only we are having 9 units in Java, and that's all with the syllabus. In the reference book, you can refer this book, The Complete Reference Java 2, 4th edition, Herbert Schild. Any of the edition, it would be fine, right? The Complete Reference. I'm even having a soft copy for this book. Ebook is there available. I'll upload it in e-content by today only. Right? So you can refer this. It's a very easy language he has used, right? So you will be much comfortable with this book, surely. Okay. And other reference books also you can use, right? Fine. Here are the list of experiments, right? But we would be having some of the modification and experiment list, right? Because you won't be able to do all the 41 or 42 programs in the laboratory sessions, right? It's 41 programs, right? So we will do some of the modification, right? And experiment list. And these are the supplementary resources. You can use Java Point, then Tutorial Point, Learn Java Online. So I hope this is clear. Any question related to this? What would be the teaching scheme and how you will get the marks? I hope you don't have any doubt in this. Clear. Okay, great. If you have, you can ask. Fine. Good. Great, great. Good. Fine then. Yeah, internal, yes. Yes, Ritesh. Internal means you are asking about what? You're asking about this 20 marks? So that what I already explained, how you will get those 20 marks. So this is your internal, right? Internal 20 marks. So 15 plus 5. No, at this time we don't have any mini project concept, right? Because see, if we will keep this mini project kind of thing, you have to choose applet for that, because you have to make some interactive things, right? And if we will keep the mini project, this unit will comes at last, right? So you would be having very less time to implement this thing by your own, right? So this time we haven't kept mini project. Instead of that, we are having that interview questions assignment related to that, which will be more useful for you for the placement even. Okay. So you have to do it with your extra efforts. Okay. You have to do it sincerely, actually. Done? Any other doubts? So we can start with our syllabus. Yes? Okay, fine. So our very first unit, that is Java overview. Our subject is object-oriented programming with Java. Here, a very first thing that is introduced into Java. Now, if I'll say that your C language, that C language was developed by whom? If you know, you can answer. C language. It was developed by Dennis Ritchie, right? Then it was C++, because C++ was developed to overcome disadvantages of C language, right? So it was developed by Bjarne Stroustrup, right? And now here we are having Java. Java language, which was developed in 1994, actually, by James Gosling. He was the main person who has developed this language, and the supporters were this Patrick Naughton, Chris Worth, Ed Frank, Mike Sheridan. This persons, there's all the people have developed this language at Sun Microsystem, and nowadays the Sun Microsystem has been acquired by Oracle, if you know, right, in 2010, I think. So after this years, all the versions are, I mean, they are not from actually Sun Microsystem. Now they are from Oracle. Okay. So this B led to C, and C evolved in C++, and now the C++ set the stage for Java. So C++ was again object-oriented language, and now the Java is again object-oriented language. So all the features which are supported in C++, they all are supported now in Java also, right? So all the concepts will remain same. What would be the polymorphism, that will remain same. What would be abstraction, that will remain same. What is class, what is object, everything is very similar except your syntax and semantic, right? Syntax will just get changed, otherwise the concept will remain same. Okay, it took around 8 months to develop a very first working version, because they have started develop this Java language from 1990s, right? So around after 4 years, at the very first version, which was called Oak, it was previously known as Oak, right? And it was developed and it was released, that first version, in 1994. But again, some of the modifications were required, and after that it was renamed as Java in 1995. So we know this language from 1995, right? This Java. And then there were so many different versions were there. So you can see that API. We will discuss this thing later on, don't worry. Now, a very first question, that if you know about the Java, you should know first what is Java language is, right? What is this Java language specification? What do you mean by API? What do you mean by JDK? So many terms are there which you should know. Before that, I would like to show you that why this language is so important in terms of curriculum as well as in terms of your future. Right. Say suppose if we'll find Java jobs in Ahmedabad, say suppose, right? So you will get the list of thousands, or you can see this, right? Java developer opening. You can see this even in Naukri.com, even in Sunshine.com. Many you know, job recruiters companies are there. Shine.com. Many companies. So here, if you will just see about the Ahmedabad, you will get around 5,000 new job openings in the Java field, right? So I hope now you understand how the Java is important to learn, and you will be more focused in this, right? Everywhere you will find this keyword J2EE and Java. You can see this. Then what is this J2EE and Java? That I'll explain you. The Spring Boot and all that, what you are actually, this keywords, this Hibernate and so many keywords are there. So they all are the Java frameworks, right? They are the Java frameworks. Java frameworks are nothing but they are the collection of different libraries, and it would be having its own syntax and semantics. So according to that framework, if you will develop a program, then most of the things, most of the supported classes would be there already. You just need to use it. That's it. So we already know what is inheritance is for. It's for reusability. So the already one time I have developed one class, then why I need to write that code again and again, right? So those all selected libraries would be there together in one unit, and that will make a framework. Simple, right? So right now what you are learning, I mean JavaScript and all that you will learn, right? That CSS, HTML, JavaScript. So that is also important part to become as a developer, right? So you can see this, I mean thousands of jobs are there just for Java. So if you wish to be a developer in future, right, from this semester only you have to be focused on Java. Then this would be there in advanced Java, which will be again one another subject in your very next semester, in 5th semester. Okay. So here you go, right? Fine. So again here, Java language specification and API. The Java language specification is nothing but it's about for your program development, what syntax and semantics are required, because every language will have its own syntax and semantics. So if you are writing a simple program in C language, right, you have to use a printf and scanf and separator as a comma. At the end of the line, you are putting semicolon. So all these things are nothing but syntax. In C++, you have used somehow different than C language. You are using cout, scene kind of predefined objects of IOStream class, right? And you were using that bitwise operators, shift left and shift right, as an insertion and extraction operator. And there you were not using comma as a separator. Everywhere you were using only insertion and extraction operator as separator, if you remember. Okay. So same way in Java also it would be having its own syntax and semantics, and here we will use plus sign, arithmetic addition sign as a separator. So that you will simply get to learn. Don't worry about it. Then API. Many of the times you heard this word API, right? API is nothing but application program interface. And that is also known as library, which contains obviously predefined classes and interfaces for developing your Java program. So here we are talking about the single API, right? And if we are having so many APIs together and so many libraries and objects and classes and interfaces are together in one unit, then we can say that is known as Java framework, right? So you can even find the difference between framework and API. You will easily get to know. But don't worry right now, right? We are just learning some of the terms which is related to this. So here, which software is required to run any of the program of Java? For that, you have to simply write JDK, okay? JDK download. Here, so many different versions are there, right? Latest was JDK 15, right? You can find JDK 1, then 1 dot something, then so many versions, JDK 8, then JDK 13, JDK 11, 9, so many versions are there, right? But now you can see after this JDK 8, everything is owned by Oracle. Okay, so if you are using any version less than this 8, maybe some of the things won't work, maybe, right? So you can download any version after this 8, right? 8, 11, 13, whatever you want, you can download, right? It's a free software, right? So you can download it and it's not so heavy. It's not so heavy, right? Okay. So everywhere you have seen this keyword Java SE, Java SE, Java SE. So what do you mean by this SE? So that's what I'm going to explain. Java SE is nothing but standard edition. We are using this kind of softwares, or you can say such kind of API where we want to develop client-side programming. Okay. So we would be having our program for our use only, just like what we have developed in C and C++. Okay. Java SE, such kind of programs, what we will do in this semester only with this Java SE standard edition, only client-side programming. In your very next semester, you will be having Java EE, that is J2EE also. What I said that I will explain you what is J2EE. Okay, so that J2EE means enterprise edition, and that is used for server side programming. So you will be having a client server based application, and you will be able to learn this in your very next semester with advanced Java syllabus. Okay, so that is known as enterprise edition. And the last one is Java M, which you will learn maybe in 7th semester, I think, the Android programming and all. So that is based, used for mobile devices. Many of the times this Java M is abbreviated as mobile edition, but actually it is micro edition. M for micro, not for mobile. But many of the times people are saying that is Java mobile edition. So it's fine because we are using this for mobile devices, right? So this is what the Java API, and different softwares are there for Java SE, Java EE, Java M. Okay, different APIs are there. And here for this semester we are using JDK. Okay, so you have to download that JDK. Now you'll ask what is JDK? So JDK is nothing but Java Development Toolkit. This JDK consists of set of separate programs, and that each you can invoke from the command line for developing and testing the Java programs, right? This is what the JDK is. Actually, this JDK includes the compiler, right? Because we want compiler to execute any of the program. And here the compiler is in JDK, right? So if you are writing any of the program, you can write your Java program even in one notepad. Okay, you have to choose any text editor for that. So you can choose Notepad as a text editor, and still you can run your program without using any IDEs. right? So first of all, I'll show you how to run a program, because only one batch was having a lab. Other two batches are not knowing how to run a simple program, right? So I'll just show you a very first program, that how you are going to run this. So in Java folder, I'm having one example.java file. This is what my example.java file. And this program I have written in Notepad, simple, and I have saved with Java extension only. Okay, you don't know what is the syntax and all, okay, but you can at least know this main method, main function, which was there even in C language, which was there in C++ also, and now in Java also we are having this main function, because your program execution will get starts from main method, main function. Right. And here I have written one function print. So you can understand it is very similar to printf, because I want to show this hello on my output screen. So that is what my goal. Okay. So I have this function print. I have written this hello. And now how I'll run this program, because Notepad is not having any compiler, right? I cannot run this program. To run a program, I need compiler, right? Because this what I've written in high level language, and this high level language will be converted ultimately into machine level language, or you can say binary level language, right? In zeros and ones. So who will do this task? Compiler. Where my compiler is? So I'm just showing you the path. Whenever you will install JDK, at that time, generally you will install in C drive. In C drive, wherever I have installed, in the program files, Java named folder will automatically be created. In Java, I'm having the version of this JDK, right? And in Beam, the definition of all these keywords, whatever I have written in my program, the definition, it's given over here as a library, you can say, right? And the compiler will find whatever you have written in your code, it will simply find those things over here at this B. Okay, so actually this is my path. Okay, this is my path. How to set the path and all that task we will do in our lab sessions. Okay, so I am not wasting the time right now. Okay, I'm just showing you that where actually my compiler is in the C drive and somewhere. Okay, so how I can run my program via command prompt, because command prompt is actually giving that support to run my any Java program. So where my program is in G drive in Java folder. So I've reached over there, and I'm right now not setting the path, but I'm just showing you that my path is set. Okay, my path is set. So I can run my any Java program. And how to run this program? Java C, then my file name dot Java, because my file name is example.java. Okay, so Java C example.java. Then I'll simply do enter. It will compile my code. If any errors are there, it will show me the list of errors, and if there won't be any error, it will show me directly this G drive and Java. So here I've intentionally put one error over here. I just need to make it capital. So again, you have learned this, Java is a case sensitive language, right? If you will do any of the mistake in capital and small, you will get an error. Okay, so I have corrected this thing, and I'll again run this program, Java C example.java. So now directly they will show me the prompt G drive / Java. So here my first program is compiled successfully. Now I want to run it. Here C means for compilation, because you want to compile. But now I want to run, so I'll simply eliminate this C. I'll simply write Java and my file name. See, after compiling this program, I'm not running it yet. Okay. After compiling this program, you can see in my folder, in G drive, Java folder, this class file has been created. Have you seen this? Right? So once your program will be compiled, it will create one class file, dot class. Okay? So now I have to run this class file only. Right? I don't want the source file now. If I'll delete this source file, then also my program will run. Okay, so I'll simply do Java example and enter. So it will show me hello. So that's it, right? So this is how I can run my program via command prompt also. And if you don't want such kind of CLI means command line interface, right? So you have to write everything, all commands, and then and only then you will get the output. But if you don't want to write any commands for compilation and execution and you wish to use any IDEs, then here is the topic IDE. IDE means integrated development environment. So it is basically used for developing your Java programs quickly, where you can edit, you can compile, you can build, you can debug, you can even get online help. There's all the things will be integrated in one graphical user interface. This is GUI, and what I've shown you, that was CLI, right? So this is GUI, graphical user interface. And examples are NetBeans, Eclipse. You can use any of these IDEs to run one Java program. You just need to simply do over there F9, a kind of thing which you were using in code blocks. Right? So in Java also you will simply do the right click, you will run the file and the output will be there. So I'll show you this NetBeans and Eclipse. Both are installed in my system, right? But that I'll show you at the time of laboratory. Okay, so we are not wasting our time for this because it will take around 5 minutes. It is very heavy software, so it will take around 5 minutes for my system at least, right? So I'm not showing you that right now, but I have shown you how you can do the same thing via CLI. Okay, so our 3 OOP principles. This you already know. This is just repetition for you guys, right? What is encapsulation? The same concept we are having. What is encapsulation? It is mechanism of wrapping up your data and code acting on the data methods together on a single unit. It will work as a single unit. So this is your class. Say suppose your class is having variables as well as methods, right? So this is known as the encapsulation. So outer side world cannot directly interact with your variables because they are maybe the private one. But if you have make your methods as a public one, so via these methods indirectly you can use the variables. Right? So this is what we know. So the class is in class, we are having data members plus methods. Methods means function. Again, I'm repeating this thing for 1 to 2 lecture. And after that, you will be used to with this, right? The word methods. Okay. Another one is inheritance. You know already what is inheritance. It is mechanism in which one class acquire the property of another class. For example, a child inherit the traits of his or her parents, right? So if I'm having one main parent class as a vehicle, maybe it would be having 2 child classes, land vehicle, water vehicle. Land vehicle is again having one class, which is car, and here hovercraft, which can act as a land vehicle also as well as a water vehicle also. So it would be What kind of hierarchy is this? Land, water, and hovercraft. Anyone? Land vehicle, water vehicle, and hovercraft. What kind of hierarchy is this? Multiple. Okay. Yes. Yes. Fine. So it is multiple because you are having more than one parent, right? And only one child. So it is multiple. And whereas hybrid is also correct because we are having vehicle also over here. So vehicle, land, and hovercraft. If this fourth thing you are looking together, then it is known as hybrid, right? Correct, right? But if I'm only talking about land vehicle, water, and hovercraft, this three thing, then it is multiple inheritance. And in water specifically, both will be there. So this is what the example of inheritance. And polymorphism, it means many forms. One thing, many forms. So it occurs when we have many classes that are related to each other by inheritance. So here we can achieve runtime polymorphism if you remember the compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. If the compile time polymorphism is there, function overloading and operator overloading was the example what we have seen in C++. But here in Java, we don't have any concept like friend function, we don't have any concept like operator overloading, so such kind of things are not supported by Java. Go to label, it is again not supported in Java. Multiple inheritance, what we have seen, this thing is again not supported in Java, but we can achieve this via interface, so that we will learn. Don't worry, right? So some of the things are not supported in Java. And the very first is that what I said is operator overloading. So you can say the compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. And in that, you are having function overloading. It is still there. It is still there in Java also, that method overloading. Instead of function, you will use method overloading. And for runtime polymorphism, if you remember, you have seen this example. You have seen this example in C++ also. There would be a shape class, draw function was there. Then there are three childs. So which kind of hierarchy is this? Anyone? Which kind of hierarchy? Which kind of inheritance is this? Yes, no one? Come on. Yeah, it is hierarchical. Yes, Pooja, correct. Right. So this is hierarchical inheritance. Yes, Rahul, correct. Okay. So this is what you are having one thing over here, one method only draw, but it will behave differently in different classes. Okay. Because every class is having its own code into that. So it occurs when we have many classes and they are related to by inheritance. Then and only then runtime polymorphism will be achieved. Here are the program editors. You can even run your program via Notepad, so that what I have shown to you. You can even use JCreator, you can use NetBeans, you can use Eclipse, you can use any program editors. In IDE, say suppose we were there only. Yeah. In IDE, everything will be included over there only. You can write over there, you can debug your program, you can simply compile your program, you will be having output screen also including in that IDE only. So you will be having that example over here. There's NetBeans and Eclipse. And if you are using NetBeans, Notepad, then this is only your text editor. If you wish to run your program, you have to use command prompt. And from that only via CLI you have to fire some of the commands, and then only you will get the output. Okay. So this is what we have learned, and this is our very first simple program, how we can write a program. So that I'll explain in very next lecture, right? Because I have to explain you what is this keyword class, what is this public, what is static, what is this void main, this string, everything I'll explain you. Okay, so don't worry, that we will do at very next time in our very next lecture. So I hope it was useful for you this session, and there is no doubt. If anyone is having any doubt, they can ask. Yes, anyone? Great. Fine. Fine. Good then. Great, great. Fine. So we will wind up the session, right? You can write your enrollment number over here and you may leave the meet. Thank you all. You have to write your enrollment number and you may leave the meet. Yes, Aman, Kuldeep, Rahul, Siraj, and Tulsi. Please write down your number and you may leave the meet.